A few years ago, I had a wild idea. I decided I was going to take my little car out west, over the mountains and plains, all the way to the west coast. I planned for a long time, and then I bought camping gear, hiking supplies, and lots of snacks. I struck out west without a set route. I cruised through Colorado, Utah, California, and more. I even decided on a whim to go up into Canada for a bit. I didn't know where I would be in a few days, but I knew that I could pick wherever I wanted. It was exhilarating. I saw many new places and people. I learned new things, and I had unexpected experiences on this trip. This was made possible by the fact that I was traveling alone, and I was in control of almost every aspect of the journey. As this story illustrates, solo travel gives you freedom and flexibility. In addition, it gives you the opportunity for personal growth. I'm sure all of you have traveled, at least to some extent. For most of us, that usually means traveling with a group or at least with one other person. And that can be a lot of fun. I don't want to make it sound like I don't enjoy traveling with other people. But if you've traveled with other people a lot, I'm sure you've found out that it's not always smooth sailing. People want different things. Sometimes people get tired of each other or irritated. Feelings are hurt. Solo travel can bypass some of these issues sometimes and help you to more fully enjoy your travel experience. I love traveling. I've taken many trips over the last few years, and I don't regret any of them. After high school, I took a long western road trip, as I mentioned earlier. Later, I took a solo backpacking trip to Europe, as well as many other smaller road trips by myself. I also took many trips with my wife or family or friends, which I enjoyed a lot. But today, I want to try to convince you to go on a solo trip, because it gives you the freedom to follow your own desires, the flexibility to pursue new friendships, and the opportunity for personal growth. So first, I want to start with looking at how solo travel gives you freedom. Solo travel gives you freedom in several ways. It gives you the freedom to choose activities and plans that you want to do. It also gives you freedom from stress and dissonance that comes with group travel. I would argue that solo travel is a bit like having your own apartment versus still living with your parents. Sure, there are certain perks to living with your parents, but obviously you have a lot more freedom to make your own choices and follow your own wishes if you live alone. Dale Klein said in the July 1997 issue of Christian Science Monitor that this freedom includes being able to set my own pace. I spent a whole day on the Acropolis in a state of wonder. Nobody was saying, "Let's go." So the benefits of traveling alone mirror those of living alone. Traveling by yourself gives you the freedom to forge your own path. Traveling by yourself can also be a lot more stress-free than traveling with a group. Nicole Rupersberg said in her Thrillist.com article, in defense of vacationing alone, if you find yourself getting cranky or stressed, it won't. If you find yourself getting cranky or stressed, it won't turn into a fight that will take the majority of the rest of the day to try to resolve. You can just have your moment of internal tantruming and then get back to what you're doing. It's beautiful, really. So as you can see, you have a lot more freedom to relax if you're traveling by yourself. So now that we've looked at a little bit of the freedom that solo travel provides, I'll talk about some of the other flexibility that it gives. And this is also pretty closely intertwined with the concept of freedom. So this might sound a little contrary to the last point, but solo travel gives you flexibility to get to know new people more. Earlier I talked about how you can have freedom to just follow your own path and you don't have to worry about the desires of other people. However, this doesn't mean that you'll spend all your time by yourself or that you just make all your decisions by yourself. This freedom also gives you the flexibility to spend time getting to know new people. If you meet somebody and you like to spend more time getting to know them, that's up to you. You don't have to work around the schedule or the desires of other people you're traveling with because it's just you and whoever you might meet. You can make it up as you go. As Felix Stark said in his documentary, Pedal the World, less planning means more flexibility. Now, the other half of this point is that you can choose to spend your time all by yourself if that's what you're looking for. And sometimes that's exactly what we need. Sometimes we don't feel like interacting with other people at all. And that can be a good and healthy thing, especially for those of us that are introverts. Now that we looked at the freedom and flexibility that solo travel can give, I want to talk about how it can push you to self-improvement. Solo travel gives you the opportunity to help you grow, both in a spiritual sense and in fostering a sense of confidence and independence. First, solo travel gives you solitude, which opens the door to the profound. Can traveling by yourself open you to new, deep experiences that you wouldn't otherwise encounter? In the article Lone Wolves in Geographiscar Annular, Series B, Human Geology, it says, solitude can provide the opportunity for intense, profound, or spiritual experiences in wild or hidden places. Spending time by yourself gives you the opportunity for experiences and learning on a deeper level. Now, of course, this isn't an automatic result of solitude. You'll have to adopt the spirit of open-mindedness and try to put yourself in a position to learn. And this can be through reading, or listening to music, or observing nature, or thinking, or many other activities. But when we pull ourselves away from the noise and bustle of our busy, normal lives, we have a great opportunity to just take a deep breath and try to focus ourselves on what we value most. Finally, traveling by yourself can help you to grow in confidence. Traveling alone can really push you out of your comfort zone more than normal. But with that freedom comes responsibility. No one else is there to help you make decisions. You and only you are in charge. If something goes wrong, you'll have to figure things out all by yourself. When I went to New York City first time, I was traveling with some friends. And the subway seemed like just a crazy complicated whirlwind that was just scary to figure out. Luckily, some of my friends were a little more traveled than I, so I was content to just kind of ride along on their coattails. Not long after that, I went on my solo trip to Europe. There I didn't really have the option to just follow along. I learned to use the transportation system in many cities, often without the benefit of English signs. Then when I came back to New York City, the subway seemed so much simpler and easier there. There's nothing quite like just being thrown into the fire and learning how to do some of these skills for yourself. Now, when I travel, I can be more relaxed because I'm a lot more confident in my navigation abilities. And that's just one small example of how traveling alone can help you build confidence. So now that you've seen these stories and ideas, hopefully you too can see the value of solo travel. So today, I've tried to convince you to take a solo trip because it gives you the freedom to follow your own desires, flexibility to pursue new relationships, and the opportunity for self-growth. Solo travel shouldn't just be a last resort for when you can't find anyone else to go with you on a trip. Hopefully you'll consider going on a solo trip once this coronavirus crisis passed and we can travel again. I think you can learn a lot and really enjoy yourself. The next time you're traveling with a group of people and you're trying to decide whether you want to go to the art museum or to the rodeo, just think to yourself, hey, wouldn't it be crazy if I was on this trip by myself and I could just go wherever I wanted? It sounds liberating, doesn't it?